Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome back to my channel. Great to be back on another video guys. We're taking a quick, just a detour from our normal current series that we're busy doing on how to convert a map from FS19 to 22. A friend of mine just asked me to make a video on how to work with farmland in FS22. So I'm going to quickly make this video. It's very simple and easy. So a quick detour, like I say, and then we'll get right back to our conversion of FS19 map. Good man. If this is the first time that you are on my channel, welcome. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow, and do share. I really appreciate, guys. You are awesome. Thanks, man. All right, so tonight or today, whatever the time is there by you, we're going to have a look at how to work with farmland in FS22. There's a few things that's changed for the better, I must say. They have reworked the farmland a little bit. Remember in FS19 or the editor 8, you had to work with that crazy, it's like a binary map of field or farmland IDs to actually work the thing. And in FS22 in editor 9, oh, so grateful that you don't have to do that anymore. You can just pick the farmland you work with, so it's much easier. Anyways, what I've got here is just a export map from the US map in FS22, and I've just flattened the whole map just to make it flat and easy to work with. If we come close, you'll see there is absolutely nothing on the map. I've deleted everything off it just to have a sample to work with, and or example rather, to work with farmland. Now, where do we need to start? If you have created your own map, like this one now, and you've exported it from FS22, made your own mod map, you will end up with the same thing that I basically have here. It's on my desktop, I promise you. I must just get to it. If my machine wants to get there, I'll be very grateful. Why is it not going to my desktop? Probably because I'm not selecting the desktop. Great. Here it is, test. Okay, so you'll end up with a map that looks like this. And then the first thing you need to do is go into the map, go into your US directory, find the map XML, which is that one there, and find the reference to farmland. You'll find it here somewhere. Farmlands, animal food. I'm probably running over it. Store items, sound, environment, growth, weed, farmlands. Here it is, right in front of my eyes. Now you need to go to this directory. It's under FS22 data maps, map US, farmlands. And we're going to copy that farmlands into our map directory. Good. So what we'll do now is go to FS22. Just going to open this in a new window, so we can have it there. It's data, maps, map US, and then farmlands. So we're going to find the farmlands. There we go, farmlands XML. Control C to copy. Just make sure you get the right file, and then come back to your map directory. Maps, map US. Put it in the same directory as your i3D. That normally will be the right spot for it. Good, and there it is. Now what you need to do is go back to your farmlands here and just remove everything in front of it. So you take that dollar data, whatever, off like that, like so, and all should be well with your soul. There you go. All right, so now the map XML is going to see that the farmlands XML is right here in the directory. We'll save it, and we'll go out of the XML. Just open this one. Okay, so test maps, farmlands, and here's all your farmland IDs. Now what you need to do, guys, is go into your map. This is not relevant at the moment because on your blank map you're going to start your own farmland directory or hierarchy or whatever you want to call it. Now the ones that says default farm property, this this piece of text here or code or whatever you want to call it tells the game that ID1 is the default farm property, and when you play the new farmer mode, or that first mode, not the other two difficult ones, but that first one where you get your house and your farm and everything, then it will take this, all the ones that says default property. So if you want to add more farmland to your startup farm in the first mode, then you can just put the default farm property true next to it. So you copy that and you put it to ID2, for instance. Then both these farm IDs or farmlands will be part of your default farm. But if you start in the other modes where you don't have farmland, or you start with nothing, or that modes, then obviously it will ignore this default farm property. Alright, so just to clear that up. So the next thing you'll do is you go into your map in the editor. So you open your i3D and you go down here to farmland, into the info layer, and you select farm ID1, and you're going to work this ID and your XML all together. So what I like to do, or envisage to do, is take one ID at a time. So take an ID, select the ID here, or make a note of the ID. We're going to work with ID1. Go into your editor, select ID1, and then paint the area that you want. I'm going to show you what the farmland looks like when you've painted the whole map. Okay, so do that. I'm going to just go here to farmlands, and that is what it will look like when you've painted all your farmlands in. So at the moment it's still in the US maps farmland layout, and we're going to change that now. So I'm going to select farm ID1. To give you a tip, guys, before you start painting, because if you just miss one pixel on this map, you're going to run into an error, and it will give you endless trouble in your game. So let us rather go to the last ID, which is ID 62. You select that one. I don't know how many IDs you're going to have, but you can change it later on. Just make sure it's the last one. So we'll take this one and we'll say whole map just here next to it. And obviously to type there, you need to put the smaller as, and then an exclamation mark, two little dashes, a space, and you go to the end, two dashes again, and you close the little brackets with the greater S sign, and there you go. So now farm ID 62 will be the whole map. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to farm ID 62 here on the list. Alright, take that one. And we're going to paint with your left button the whole map. Make sure, what I've done is I've made my, I've zoomed out far so I can see the whole map, and I've made my my cursor or my terrain radius, the radius, I've made it 1200, because 1200 will cover a standard map fully. If you see there, it's fully covered. So I'm just clicking and I'm just dragging over the whole map. So now I know that every pixel on the whole map has been covered with farmland. So I can now go back to ID1 and start from scratch with ID1. You don't have to select it here. I'm just showing you. We're going to work with farm ID1 now, and this will be obviously whatever you want to do with it. Start painting farmland, and now obviously you want to make your icon smaller, and you want to zoom into your map closer and closer to where you want to actually paint farm ID 1, like so, and then select, and now you can obviously use square or whatever, and say now I wanted to, I must actually just go and select farm ID 1 now here, because we're going to work with 1. And you'll see now the color has changed. And the moment I now paint again, it's going to be white, because where you paint the current selected ID, it will be white. That is just how you know which which ID you've selected, you know. So we're going to go back into, just make this a bit bigger. I'm just quickly going to paint a few IDs here just to show you. So now that block or that field that I've covered there is now Farm ID 1. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, move up so we can have a bit more terrain to work with. Good. So that was Farm ID 1. So now it's as simple as going to Farm ID 2 and paint another area or another few fields. I'm just roughly doing this just as an example, guys. You can now come in close by and make it nice and neat on your map, you know. Notice now that the previous map or Farm ID 1 has changed color again, because the current one that we work with is always white. So the one that you've selected here will always be the white one. All right. If you make a mistake, guys, do not undo. Never use Control Z in your farmland. It used to cause havoc in FS19. So I don't know if it's fixed in FS22, but as a rule of thumb, do not undo. Never use Control Z, and do not go with the how can I say? Don't try and reverse your mistake. So what you will do now is say now I've made a mistake here and I want to take that piece of white away. What I'll do is I'll go back to this ID, which was 1. Okay, so we're going to go to 62. Sorry, that was 62, because that was the whole map. And I will paint over that again. That's the correct way. If you do it any other way, I know in FS19 it used to cause big havoc with farmlands, and a lot of guys had long crocodile tears because of that. So as a rule of thumb, don't try and undo, and don't try and fix your mistake with right clicking or whatever other way you want to fix it, but do it this way and you will not have a problem. So now I can come back to my current one, which is Farmland 2. Go back to Farmland 2 is the white one. You'll see there it is, and I can now properly paint it again, you know. You'll quickly get the hang of it. And now I've got already 3 farmlands. All right, so and what I like to, another tip is to, when you've done an ID, give it a name here next door. So if say for instance this white now, the selected one, is Farmland 2, say this was field 40, I will call it field 40, because you can get quite confused when you have like 30 or 40 farmlands like this map has, you know. So what you'll do then is just go in here and call it field, not feld, field 40. Field 40, like so, #, close the brackets, and there you go. And in that way, you'll never get confused, and you will keep track of what field is where. And obviously the ones with default farm property is great. And then show on farmland screen false. That's a new one. I haven't seen that before. It's something to have a look at. So show on farmland screen. So if you go to your farmland screen, this is quite nice. It's a new one. I haven't seen that before. So in other words, if you go to your farmland screen in game, if you highlight that, it will actually show it there, which is well, in this case it's false, so it won't. So I wonder why they would put that there, but anyways, doesn't matter. The idea here is just to show how farmlands work, and then once you've done all of them, remember, say you've used only 10 farmlands or 20, what you will do then is at the last, or 21, just make sure that you then come and remove all the ones that you haven't used. All right, so what I've done now is I've just put the smaller as start of the bracket thingamabob there, and then I've already got one here, so it will end it there. If there wasn't one here or whatever, you can just add it in here. It won't make a difference. 2 dashes and a little bracket, and there you go. You see, I actually should have put that in there because Farm62 was our whole map one. We actually used Farm. All right, so there you go. In this case, Farmland 62, I will leave it like that because, yeah, that's my whole map. All right. The other way to do it actually, because now you're going to have, I'm not sure if it will cause a problem if you jump from 20 to 62. I'm not sure if it will make a problem. But the proper way or the better way to do it, guys, will be to obviously use Farmland ID 1, make that your whole map, and then what you do is you sacrifice ID 1 as your background or the whole map thing. So if ever you missed a tiny little pixel somewhere under a rock or wherever that you can't see, then that Farm ID 1 will have covered it. So then you don't have this problem here, Farm ID 62, that's at the end. So I would suggest do that rather than having it at the end, because I'm not sure if that's going to cause an issue. It shouldn't, but I will not put money on it, you know, giants, editors and programmers there, you never know, but excellent. But anyway, guys, that is what I wanted to show, how to work with Farmland. And now once you've done all of that, obviously you'll save your Farmlands. You can take that off again, save the map, and your Farmlands will work properly. When you boot into the map, you will have your Farmlands there, and it will actually work, you know. So it will read from the XML, and these IDs will be portrayed in your map, and everything will be honky-dory. Just remember to do that XML in the map XML to point the farmland to your farmland. And that's it, guys. It's as easy as that. All should be well. Good, man. Great stuff. Well, guys, I hope that has been insightful, and I hope it's helped. And yeah, if there's anything that I missed, hopefully I'll remember and I'll put it in the video. Or if I don't remember, then just remind me. Give me an email. It will be great to hear from you. Okay, guys, great stuff. I'll catch you next time on the next one. Take care, man. Cheers.